Living in Your Aquarium. Today we have a special event. Yes, I'm still doing my live stream tonight at 7:30, and it will be on fish news you can to use, probably, unless you're a scientist or something. But it's interesting fish news that will be brand new stuff that's in the forefront of our hobby and of science of freshwater fish, ecology, biology, all that good stuff. So, what we have going on today, boy, I've got a lot of exciting news for you guys. I've got some huge savings if you guys want to get something from Aquatic Arts, who is my main, my only real sponsor for the channel, the people I work with, the people I believe in, my boo, my everything. So, first of all, let's do a quick little sound check. How's everybody doing as y'all filter in here and see people? Mains, tails, fins, and fur. What's going on, Jess? Hey, here, fishy, aqua, new grow, IG, Texas fish. Hello. All right, so we're sounding good. Sounding good. Hopefully, looking good, feeling good. All right. Hope you guys all are as well. And Sandy, what's going on? Melissa, Shayla, Kevin, hello, buddy. How's it going? All right, well, let me just get the big news off my chest. It's just, it's burning a hole through my chest. See, there's the hole right there. But what's going on, Timbo? Tanking It Easy. Love that name. So, Aquatic Arts. They will be starting. It has not even been officially announced yet, but tonight or in a few hours it will be. I just got the news. You're hearing it here first. 50% off all livestock. So they're moving August 1st. They have to move out of where they're at. And just because of the way stuff unfolded, they need to move. And they had a contractor building tanks and things. They had everything planned like perfectly. And then, of course, right now, building materials and things are insane, and sourcing stuff is insane. So they're literally having to move everything over in like a few day period rather than having a few months overlap. So because of that, they're trying to get all of the back, all the back supply. Everything's been quarantined. Nothing has been ordered super recently. And they're trying to get all the living things. So fish, plants, and invertebrates, crayfish, 50% off. I mean, they've got some crazy stuff right now. They are running low on a lot of things, but that's the goal. They need to clear everything out, and then they'll be ordering in all new stuff and kicking off their new location, which is like 4 times bigger. So, yeah, it should be a good one. Now, the bummer is no sale code or whatnot for this channel. We're just trying to help them out. If you buy more than a couple $100 worth of stuff, you can shoot them an email and let them know that you came from the channel if you want. That would be nice, I guess. But if you're just buying, $100, $150 or $50 or whatever worth of stuff, then maybe don't sweat it. But, with the price of their shipping, it goes up and it's high. I know it's high. It's overnight, and we have a big box we're going to unbox here. But you might as well, it's going to be like $60, so you might as well order a bunch if you're ready, So I want to show you the thing. They're not doing the sale on dry goods, but you can do a separate order of dry goods with my codes. So those codes for 15% off the dry goods, which are already really low price because they just got into the new Tannin dry goods whole world of doing Blackwater. And so they'll combine that, and I think they'll combine the shipping too, especially if you order over the weekend, since they're not shipping out the orders. So you could probably use my code, and if you were trying to just double check, you might be able to like email them and say, hey, I ordered dry goods here, use this code to get 15% off them. And then I ordered the 50% off, which should just automatically be applied, or there'll be a big banner on the website telling you what the code is. So, yeah, but with shipping, exactly like here, Fishy says, to me, it's worth it. It always comes in the contiguous United States. I mean, anything comes, it's alive, it's guaranteed. And the thing that's most important to me about the way they do things, really, other than that they care about the lives of the fish, is that they care about the the breeders that are supplying the fish. So you guys watching, if you breed some fish, if you breed angelfish, if you breed some rare oddball fish, and you can supply those monthly or bi-monthly or however often, contact them. We have over a dozen viewers on the channel now that are subscribers that are involved in supplying aquatic arts, and they pay them really fair, and that is, to me, worth a little bit higher price than, say, your big box stores and whatnot. Plus, they are very into making sure the lines are clean, that they're traceable, that everything's healthy. They quarantine for a really long time. I mean, they're just great people. And, like Oddball Aquatics, Haley, on her channel, she works there too. So if you guys watch her channel, you know what intelligent and knowledgeable people they have working there. So that's really nice. But I want to show you something else. This is a sneak peek. This is a world preview. Both things are really. But this is coming soon, and this is a teaser. But this is a book I just received from Ivan Mikolji. Him and his sister I've been in contact with. And before we go over this order, I just want to show you. So this is a new book, and I'm going to be reviewing it and all that. It's incredible. I've got a deal on this book for you guys because I know a lot of you will probably want it now that it's out finally. He's been working on it for 10 to 15 years, really. And this is pictures of the Orinoco Delta. What do we see here? We see leaves, thousands of years of leaves in the water. I mean, that's what makes peat bogs. That's what makes bog water. That's what makes Blackwater and tannins. Look at that. You can see there's algae growing on the water, or in the water, I should say. But, I mean, I just looked at a couple of these. That light's actually more harm than good. But, yeah, so look at this. I mean, that's Mulm City. That's Algae City. Same here. Look at this. I mean, we've got Geophagus abelios here, which are beautiful fish out in the wild. But look at that. I mean, it's moss, it's tannins, it's algae. It's nature. So I just wanted to show you guys, beyond live plants, how crucial. Look at algae again. It is so crucial. Look at the mulm here. All these, there's over 300 species in here. But I mean, look at this. Every single one has botanicals in there. And it's a part of the hobby that we don't always see as super beautiful or amazing aesthetically, but it's something that for breeding fish is second to none. I mean, it's why these fish, I mean, why do you think these fish have the markings they do? It's because they've grown up with these botanicals. They've evolved with this. I mean, look at this scene here. That water is black, literal black water in the Orinoco River. And this is a true guppy photographed in 2006. Most of them are gone now. This is the orange line guppy that is now gone. And probably that was the last of the wild guppies, according to a few professors I've spoken with also. But in any case, this is page 300, and there's still this many more pages. There's still another 100 pages or something. So this book, we're going to go over in a different video. This video is about aquatic arts and their tannins and their new products that they're carrying. And let me get this set up. I know we're in the kitchen, but I got the lights set up here, and I'm hoping this will be the best spot for the experience. But yeah, I mean, if you guys do your ponds and things outside, you guys already know that algae, green water makes your fish explode. I mean, between that and the UV light and the natural bugs and things that get into a pond, nothing comes close to live food, botanicals, and algae in there. And so let's take a look here. We've got a bunch of tannin-rich botanicals in here. Everything that's packing here should be recyclable, which is good. They're working on new ways to do that. Like things are bagged up, and they're even looking into, recyclable and sustainable bags and things like that. Whoa, we're falling over. Everything's live. Sorry, guys. I literally just knocked over the whole shebang. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So, yeah, we've got a really cool load here. These are available now on the website and on aquaticarts.com. They are really fun, and I plan on doing a whole aquascape with all this new stuff they have. The prices they have compared to a lot of the websites where I've seen this stuff is really, really good. Really good prices. So for these pods, look at these beautiful lotus pods. Now, beyond being a really cool looking pod, and you know, they have coconut husk and they have coconut shell containers or caves essentially. These are just beautiful, and they look really clean, and they look, I mean, they're immaculate. They're not cracked. They've traveled well, and so we've got lotus pods. They come in a 5-piece thing. These are awesome, especially like say you just have a betta and maybe you don't have a bunch of tanks like I do, and maybe you're not doing a big aquascape. Well, maybe you just want to switch it up for your betta. So we're going to talk about some of the benefits of tannins, and then in the future I hope to literally go over each of these, maybe a few in each video, and talk about the benefits, because it isn't a random occurrence that they picked these items. There are literally tens of thousands of botanical byproducts out there that they could choose from, and they've chosen very specific ones based on, you know, price, quality, and then what it does for your aquarium. So the other one that they have here are these giant bamboo leaves, you know, big old bamboo. I don't know if this is black bamboo or normal green bamboo, but big old leaves tied up in leaves, 2 ounces of it, which I mean is substantial weight wise. But bamboo, you know, really, really high in fiber, really, really good for if you're just trying to get a base down in a big tank, like a 50, 40, 75, whatever gallon aquascape or tank, and you want those tannins. They're finding more and more and more that the leaf litter at the bottom being thick, like inches thick, has a huge impact on the survival rate of fry. So then we've got mulberry leaves. This is one that I've gone out and collected in the United States even. 10 leaves. They package them really, really effectively in these like Ziploc little sealed bags that are sealed tight, and they're not quite vacuum sealed, but the air's been kind of worked out of them so they'll stay fresh. Then we've got guava leaves. Now, guava, the cool thing about guava is it's full of lycopene. Remember when the tomato companies were talking about lycopene being this magical ingredient and all that in your tomatoes that was an antioxidant that would give you superpowers? Well, lycopene's also good for fish. These also have a huge, huge amount for their, even for their dry weight, of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B3, B6. And the other cool thing about guava leaves is they're a natural antihistamine. So there's all sorts of uses and claims that you can look into for traditional medicine of how humans have used these leaves. But beyond that, they've done a lot of studies on how these impact. Oddly enough, they've done the studies on fish, on rats, on mice, on monkeys, and then tried to say, oh, well, that justifies the study for on humans. But in our case, all we needed was the fish study. So some of these things have been studied already extensively on rice fish, on Danios, things like that. Hey, how's it going, T-Bone? Good to see you. Deborah, good to see you. Everybody who's just getting in, just want to tell you, you guys are hearing it here before anywhere else, before the newsletters drop. 50% off all life forms at Aquatic Arts this weekend. 50% off. They have to move. It's a crazy sale in the U.S. I think it's U.S. only, unfortunately, guys. Sorry. And it doesn't include dry goods or foods, things like that, substrates, or these botanicals, unfortunately. But these botanicals are brand new, and I wanted these, so I ordered these and said, please, 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 I want to get a hold of these, like, the day they come out. You know, they've been, a couple of these have been on the website for a while. Some are brand new. Some I've never seen other places, and I'm really excited because, like, we're reading through some of the benefits of this stuff. It's just really cool to be able to get this for the aquarium. And if you're already ordering something, you can use the 15% off code on your dry goods order. So you can make an order to Aquatic Arts, and if you want, say you want to get that, or you want to get their pollen granules for feeding shrimp, or you want to get their snowflake food, or you want their sinking wafers, which you guys have seen my fish go crazy for, all that kind of stuff. I'm helping them try out, develop all this kind of stuff. So anything that's new, I'm trying to give them feedback. I'd love your guys' feedback if you end up getting any of this. But the discount for 15% off on all dry goods still stands if you haven't used it yet in the last couple months. It's in the info below. It's just history secret in all caps and then 15, no spaces or anything. And then if you have used that code, you can still get 10% off. And then hopefully if you email them and say, hey, I bought this from Alex's channel, the 50% off order, if you want to buy another order of like a bunch of fish, which is when this is the time to do it. They have not had a sale this good. Even Black Friday wasn't this big of a sale. They're moving facilities, and literally their priority is the health and wellness of the fish. So they want to sell those fish and not have to stress them out and move them or put them in buckets and ship them across town to their new warehouse. And then once they're in the warehouse, they're going to be ordering. I mean, they're going to have the ability to do so many amazing, cool things in the future that, yeah, it's really exciting. So there's a lot to unpack there. But for now, yeah, so the guava leaves, the other cool thing about them is that they're actually an alkaline leaf. So they'll break down into carbonic acid. Yes, their stock is low because they need to sell everything right now. So that literally is what they're doing. So things like the Cherax and the expensive stuff that you've been eyeballing for a long time, now's the time to get it. It's not going to ever be this cheap again, I'm sure. Plecos and Corys that are rare and things like that. I mean, I didn't know this sale was coming. If I had, I obviously would have bought something. They didn't know this sale was coming. This is a, on their feet kind of thing because they care about their fish. But yeah, guava leaves, the antihistamines, but they're also an alkaline leaf while they're still dry until they break down. Then they break down and the carbon and the nitrogen in them becomes acidic. So not that they're going to swing your tank or anything, but it's interesting in that when fish and algae and bacteria eat them, it actually helps balance your aquarium. And that's a weird little attribute to that plant. The fact that it is so alkaline, it concentrates the alkalinity in the soil. And like I said, antihistamines, high in fiber, and then it also is really high in antioxidants, which are good for fish and people. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Melvin, what's going on? So then jackfruit. Jackfruit's cool in that juicy fruit gum was actually made off of jackfruit. It is a breadfruit, and it is the biggest fruit in the world. The jackfruit is. But these are the leaves of the jackfruit plant, and they come in a 25 pack, and you can definitely scatter those all over your aquarium. It's going to be really, I'm really excited about this. These also have really high amounts of collagen in them. They also have like a xanthan in them too. And the really cool thing about that is it helps with the elasticity and also the luminance in your fish's scales in their flesh. Collagen is a good thing for them to be able to have. They get it from eating other fish, but if they're omnivores or if they're vegetarians or algae eaters, scavengers, insectivores, they don't get collagen as much. It's not in insects like it is in higher up in the food chain. Yet these are a primary producer, a leaf, a tree, that creates it. And jackfruit is also, it's an Indian plant. It's native to the Indian subcontinent. So if you've got Batis, like Dario, if you've got a lot of barbs, things like that, loaches, can't have them in the US, but snakeheads. I mean, this is the substrate to put down. I am putting this directly into my Batis, my tiger Batis, my hybridization tanks where I'm trying to breed the scarlet batis with the Myanmar batis and get lines going. This is literally going right in there. And the other thing about it is they've done a lot of studies with jackfruit also. For humans, it actually has, I mean, I'm not claiming like eat this or anything, but it's just interesting to me that jackfruit leaves have been used in India for years for diabetics. They chew on them and when they're fresher, not when they're dry. And they have a glucose regulating compound in them that works better than the prescription drugs available in India. So the poor of the country actually use this, and even now some people prefer this over pharmaceuticals. So just a little tip, might want to look into it if you're diabetic. Just kind of something interesting I found while I was waiting for this order to get here from when the time I ordered it. But the other important thing that's for fish, because I don't know, maybe you have diabetic fish, I haven't heard of it, but the important thing about this is the collagen in it, as well as the vitamins A, E, and D that are in it, they all help a ton with wound healing. These plants on their own, they also have most tannic byproducts. There's over 700 tannic compounds in the world, and some are in wine, some are in coffee, some are in, you name it, different plants and botanicals and wood. But most of them are actually antibacterial or antifungal in some way. Now, that doesn't mean all fungus, all bacteria, but for instance, staph and strep, this plant kills those in petri dishes. Now, they work a little different in real life, but they found in Danios that this was healing up ulcers from when they would get wounded or injured, lose a fin or something. When they had this in the water, it would actually heal up their lacerations, ulcerations, and it would prevent infection. So that's one really nice thing about tannins in general, but jackfruit just happened to be studied. Also, just a reminder, you can buy breather bags. So if you buy and sell fish like I do, I mean, it's how I supplement being able to buy stuff like this also. Alder cones, these are another one you can get in the U.S., obviously, a certain time of year. But these have been gathered at the right time of year, and they've gotten rid of all the junk, all the pollen and debris that usually is stuck on these, and spiders and mites and all that stuff. But 75 alder cones in a pack. These are really powerful. People underestimate these, and I've seen them crash their tanks, because if you put too many tannins into your tank at once when it's neutral or alkaline, God forbid, and you swing your tank over to like 5 or 6, like 5.5 pH or something, you're going to end up also killing a good amount of your bacteria that's beneficial. So watch my videos on how to prepare tannins. Generally, you want to boil down, you get boiling water going. Some people say boil the heck out of it. I don't like doing that. I think that if these fall into the river in nature, and that's how the fish enjoy it and have evolved to live sympathetically with, then I think that I will flash boil stuff when I collect it. If it's been dried out and sitting in a warehouse for a long time, I honestly bring it to a simmer. This is just my preference. Aquatic Arts has directions on their website of kind of the standard practice. My practice is I bring it to a simmer, let it boil, and then once it's back off and the bubbles have kind of stopped rolling, then I put it in. Some people will say pour off the water because it has debris and stuff, and it depends on where you're sourcing your stuff from. Like, see this mold and stuff like that? That's totally fine and natural. This is just natural things that occur with these plants. It's not unusual, it's not weird, it's part of the process of having dry plants in a jungle. You get these secondary things on them. And a lot of the secondary fungus that happen to grow on these botanicals are things that have evolved to grow on these things. And then the wet season comes, and fish have evolved either to live with them or even to need them. And so the other great thing about tannins and all these things is like these little alder cones for shrimp. That is like a little condo for them, or a feeding. It's like a buffet. Every little crevice is a spot for food to build up. And these tannins will build up biofilm like crazy. But like I said, be careful with the alder cones. They're like little grenades. You put them in your tank, and the tannins are just bonkers. I've put in like 4, and if you have a strong cone that's real dense and not super dried out, like in nature, like if it fell and was gathered soon after, rather than sitting out in the sun, because UV light can damage things too. So that's why it's important how quickly these things were gathered. It will. I've had in a 5-gallon tank, I've had 5 to 7 alder cones, drop it 2 whole points. And when you're dropping pH, 7 to 6.0 is say 10 times lower. 6 is than it is 7. But 5 pH is 100 times lower than the 7. And it goes up from there. So it's like earthquakes or the Richter scale. And so 4.0 pH is 1,000 times more acidic than 7.0. And there are fish that live in that water. Like in that book that I just showed you, that picture of the black water, that could be as low as 3.5, could be 4, could be 5, could be 7, who knows. But it could be that low. Some licorice gouramis and things like that. Also, different betta species. I've got some new bettas that are wild bettas that I'm excited about. Also, cinnamon leaves. So these are another one that are kind of cool in that they're full of antioxidants. And these, not only do they kill bacteria and fungi, these kill yeast. So natural yeast, including in humans, the kind that causes bad breath, candida, these kill that the bacteria and the yeast in gut biomes that can cause problems. And meanwhile, they encourage other fungal growths that happen to be more aligned with what lives in the gut in a non-oxygenated environment. So it's kind of one of those cool double-edged swords. And now they're looking into cinnamon for a bunch of pharmaceutical stuff for humans. But in the meantime, we've been studying fish and monkeys and dogs, for that matter, rats and mice in the studies I found. And the other thing is they've found, other than killing harmful yeast and things like yeast infections, which can happen on the surface of scales, even underwater, warm, moist places is where yeast, colonizes. Nerve conductivity is the other thing that cinnamon plant, they've found, has a whole bunch of interesting side effects. So I'm going to be interested in trying these out, but I'm going to be cautious. Now, the other thing we've got here are coconut petals. So where the coconuts attach, they're just cool looking. They're just, you get these and you mix in some of these, and then you've got, all your leaves scattered around the bottom of the tank. And you've got, your baby fry and shrimp can go in and out of these pods. Tannins are a thing that's been coming up in the last 5 to 10 years. And we've underestimated the value of them. So banana leaves, another thing that they have, they're tied off like you would get in actual South American cuisine or African cuisine with plantains. But this is another one that you can kind of tuck in somewhere. You can even put these like in a filter, but I would take the charcoal out of your filter if you're going to do that. The other thing that they sent me that everyone will probably recognize is Indian almond leaves or catappa leaves. And these are obviously a really, really good one. I don't know about the smell of any of these leaves yet. Some of them have really rich aromas when you put them in the tank. Right now, nothing smells particularly strong, not the cinnamon or anything. It smells earthy, really. And so right here, these, everybody probably knows these, but this is what really started it in the hobby. This and cholla wood, and maybe some of like spider wood and like some of the other waterlogged woods from Southeast Asia. But for the most part, this is what started the tannin craze. And good quality, 25 leaves. This is like these are the large ones. think these are the large. Let me see if it says if they're the large ones versus the mediums. It just says catappa leaves. So, yeah, catappa leaves. So they may even have a larger size, but this is a pretty good size. I mean, compared to my hand, so they're probably 8 inches by 6.5 inches, maybe 9 inches. So good size. I always throw these in my shrimp tanks. You guys probably know about these. I'm going to move on. But also they've got catappa fruit. So where the almonds are within the fruit of the plant. I'm actually allergic to almonds, so I'm curious. I'm going to handle that with care, but I'm assuming that it has similar properties. I don't know about the fruit of it, but then again, they've been sourcing these coconuts, which are actually much bigger coconuts than I've seen. I usually buy these honestly from Aquarium Co-op, is where I bought them in the past, just right up the street from my house. But these are way bigger. They have multiple sizes at Aquarium Co-op. And you can bury this with the beveled door. That's kind of a note that I might make, actually, is that you can bury this and a lot of little cichlids, apistos, cribs, even plecos and things. Plecos tend to like longer caves, but you put this under sand or substrate and bury it a little bit and fill it in. They love excavating it and making themselves their own home. But these are more of a little stadium dome than like a hut that's just super tight. And some fish want a really tight little space. Others want room to turn around and have both of them in there doing their thing. So that's great. Now, somebody in the comments just mentioned these, and I'm really excited about this, which is moringa leaves. And they're not a powder. It's not like all crushed into powder. There's a little bit at the bottom just because of life. Andy, well, welcome to your first live stream. But moringa leaves are really cool in that they build up collagen in the fish's skin also. They're like the jackfruit. They're like the cinnamon in that regard, and the guava. They all build up that. But these are extremely, extremely good at building your first generation of little critters to feed animals in green water. So this is the stuff. You put a few tablespoons of this in a little 2 or 5 gallon, bucket or tank, leave it in the windowsill in the sun. And this, along with broccoli or celery, a piece of each, you'll have a diverse microbiome going that you can feed newborn fish with. So this is one that I'm excited because they sell this, to humans, and it can be expensive. I've seen it for as much as $29.99 for little supplement pills, and all it is this stuff crushed up. But they're getting good grade moringa leaves that are still of size. You can see the veins. You can see that they were the good leaves. They're not the rotten cast-offs or anything like that. So I'm really excited to see all these botanicals from Aquatic Arts. The other thing about moringa is that it has a chemical called isothiocyanate. And it actually brings down the blood pressure in fish. It brings down the adrenaline release also. It's a sedative to fish. And it is also in humans does the same thing. So it's kind of interesting. This plant is another one that they've found treats abscesses and infections. So if you have hole in the head or something like that, and you've already treated the infection, which your tannins may stave off the infection anyways, but say you have an angelfish with hole in the head, or a cichlid with hole in the head, a geophagus or something, then put this in your tank, and this will help the collagen, the protein, and the isothiocyanate is a chemical that will help actually heal wounds. It's in Neosporin. So pretty cool in that regard. The other one that it helps with is liver health in your fish. So if they've been hit with just antibiotic after antibiotic and general cure and ICX and all these different chemicals that sometimes they go through in transit and all that, This is actually a plant that is known to help detoxify the liver. Now, don't listen to people who say, "Oh, this plant detoxifies your blood," or this or that. Your body does that. Your liver and your kidney do that. What you want is plants that support your liver and kidney, if anything, because your body naturally already does those things. It's a bunch of hooey that anything is going to quote unquote detoxify you. Sorry, it's just read into the literature. You don't need it. Your body cleanses itself. It's why you sweat. It's why you get diarrhea. It's why you throw up. You know, it's why we have blood go through those. So this is one that naturally occurs, and it's also an anti-inflammatory, an antibacterial, and an antifungal. So this is one of those super tannin super foods for your fish, and even fish will actually munch on this too, which will help their livers. But soaking it in through their skin is going to help too. Texas Fish, welcome to Lurker Level. I know you've been a member at some point too, but it's good to see you and that you're a member. The 50% off code, so tonight they'll be launching it in the next few hours. I don't know about if there's going to be a code at the top of the website, but it should just auto apply it, which will mean you won't be able to use any other codes. And that's why I was saying, if you want dry goods, if you want these tannin products, I mean, obviously you can wait until they have a different sale, or you can order them with the codes in the description below and get 15% or 10% off with my channel codes. Get that order and then tell them, hey, I made 2 orders, and hopefully they can combine the orders. So yeah, but they're going to run out of stuff quick. So this is a new product in the country. This is like kind of the grand announcement. I don't think this is on their website yet. I'm not sure though. But this is an Asian product out of Vietnam, and it's all the rage online right now. It's a plant growth medium that encourages when you're starting young plants. So it's like a little pad thing. So I'm going to talk about that later. I'll talk about it once it's for sure for sale on their site. They do have these up on their site now, and we'll feed my shrimp these during a live stream soon. Later tonight, we're going to do a live stream on science that's happening right now in the last month in the hobby. All right, let's get to the animals. Boy, sorry guys, long unboxing, but I was just so jazzed about all the botanicals and tannin-rich products that they have that I just had to go on a rant about those, and a few of the ones that, you know, I've been looking for, couldn't find, or wasn't willing to pay the prices they wanted. So in here we've got an albino sky blue guppy, and let's see if we can get this light onto things a little bit better. Might want less of a blue light for this one. Let's hit this up with maybe a redder light. Might be hard. You guys probably can't even see that. He's so iridescent. But beautiful albino blue postciliata reticulata guppy. Albino sky blue guppy. So that's the male. There's going to be a female too that I ordered. So I know that's coming. Oh, that'll speed things up. But guess what I ordered? 2 more dragon gobies. So these are the schismatogobias. These are the Taiwanese ones. There's also the Indonesian ones. These are the guys that hunt the scuds in real time. They bury themselves under the substrate and they attack from hidden position. They'll also eat flake food and things like that after a while once they get situated. But they're now doing the hunting thing while they're still wild, until you teach them otherwise. They really like live food. I mean, they'll eat frozen food too, but they're a really fun one. Already got a video on them, but I literally just wanted more. So me. I win. Okay, so next critter to unbox. Dun, 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 dun. Interesting. So they have new metal clips I'm seeing at the top here. And tell me how you guys feel about that in the comments. So here I haven't found these since the dreaded virus started across the world. I haven't been able to find these. And they're usually in the wild, they're out of Liberia. Now, these are tank bred. I would guess. I'm almost sure. It probably says on their website. Um, I like getting free rubber bands too, so that's interesting. I'll have to ask them what changed that, because this is the first time I've seen the metal thing. But clown killifish are one of my all-time favorites. They love tannins. They live in areas as small as an elephant's footstep that fills in with water. I love that. I've seen pictures of it, and they lay eggs just in the desert, and then it dries out, and most of them die every year. Every 6 months they die. So they're a fun fish, even though they can live more than that. They can live up to 3 years. They do lay their eggs in a suspended animation kind of thing, where they lay it in dry or like a peat moss or up in the leaves or in the tannin debris, and then you just let the tannin evaporate, and those eggs will then go, if it's slowly done right, they'll actually dry out, and then you can store them until they're moist again. Whereas usually those fish in your aquarium, they're going to reproduce kind of more of your typical killifish way, where they just reproduce, lay eggs, and the eggs hatch within a few days. But they're a fish that definitely needs that green water. So things like moringa leaves, things like catappa leaves, and then also adding some fresh veggies like lettuce or celery or whatnot will help. Now, this Aquatic Arts is the only company I've found, other than maybe Dan's Fish, that has the true bumblebee gobies that are in fresh water only. These are an Indonesian species, and these are the Brachiogobii, and they are the only ones out of 14 that look very similar that will truly flourish and truly spend their whole life in fresh water. There are 13 wrong choices unless you got a brackish tank, and these guys are one of my favorites. I've had the other ones for eight months maybe, and then I got another one, so I've got 4 right now in my tank, so this will bring it up to 7. They like groups. I should have had them in a group. They can be a little territorial like Batis, but especially with leaf debris and or rock piles and things like that, they get along well. They're more active at night usually, but they do come out in the day, and they look like little bumblebees. They're adorable, and they don't get bigger than this. This is their adult size, so super teeny compared to my fingernails. they're not as glamorous as my fingernails, I suppose, but all right. Moving on. I know what this is going to be, because Sergio, I had missed him so badly. Oh, it's not what I thought it was. Okay, so this is more sunrise platies. I'm hoping did I get a female? Did I get a female? Yes, I've got at least one female. But these are the high fin sunrise platies. I wanted to put these out in the pond. I only had one female in the 5 I bought last time. I don't know, just dumb luck. But this time I said, hey, if you can, I'd love a female. They must be lower on the females would be my guess. But got a female and 2 males, reverse trio. So I've actually got a tank with the males sitting, and then I've got a tank with the male and female that are indoors. But I want to put a male and female out in the tub outside. It's been so hot this summer, and I think they'll do a lot better outside, especially in a species only planted and with some tannins. Although these guys are live bears. Live bears tend to like more alkaline water. That's not always the case, but they at least want some KH and some TDS. So even if it's not alkaline, they want that usually. They don't like real soft water. Most species. Okay, so then here are 2. Oh, cool! They sent me 2 females. That's a surprise. 2 females of the sky blue albino guppies, and these. I mean, the females look really nice right now too. You don't see the iridescent blue, but what I wanted was these genes. I wanted the sky blue gene, I guess, but really what I wanted was the albino gene, so that now I can cross this with other fish. And these are a healthy albino. They don't have the really red pink eyes. They have actual white eyes, so they're more of a platinum, and they've been bred as a line for a good amount of time. Let's see if that male has colored up at all more. He's probably still stressed. He probably just needs to get in the tank. But my house is 75 degrees exactly right now, so they're fine right now. But yeah, he's not colored up yet. He's still totally albino. But again, of course, all the fish are doing well. You can actually make out the blood in his system. He is so albino. So you don't even see the red, right? Oh, there's some blue. There's some blue coming through. Actually, if we hit this light, we've got this fancy light now. And here, let's get this. There was the blue. Where'd it go? There we go. Let's see if that. Yeah, now you can see the blue on his tail a little more. It just doesn't show up live very well. I'll have to get some pictures and put them in the community tab. Tonight also I should be uploading the fish news you probably won't use, but it's interesting for July. I should have those stories and links to the scientific data. That should be on the community tab later this evening also. And at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we'll be going live for an hour to talk about that. Okay, so here is Sergio's replacement. If you guys remember, well, you don't have to remember. We can go look right now. So this is a really pretty, this is the marbled veil, like black metallic angel. It's a Terraphyllum scalara, of course, just like most angels are. Unless you're getting real fancy, you'll get the what do you call them? The Altums and the Leopoldis. But the vast majority of angelfish are going to not be those. So it came in alone. It came in stunning. Let me turn this around. Turn around every now and okay. You guys got saved from the song. So I want to show you guys who this is pairing with and the tank it's going to go in for now. I'm also going to be making a Blackwater tank. I'm really tempted to move the 55-gallon inside and make a Blackwater discus angel, something along those lines tank. But if we turn this back around, I have these black metallic angels that I got locally from a breeder. And they're in here with some double orange Agassizi pistos, and they're in here with the male hyphen swords, and they're in here with a bunch of my gobies. It's a weird mix in this tank right now, but this I'm hoping to be. It's a male. Yeah, it's easy enough to tell it's a male. And so I'm looking that this looks like a female to me. And so hopefully we've got a male and female that will pair off in the new black and white theme. I was hoping to get some bettas. I might order again from them because I've been breeding bettas pretty successfully in this tank here, which just has bettas right now. These I got from Aquatic Arts the last unboxing, and there's a male and female living in here, and they're doing well. And in this little side thing, there are itty bitty. I mean, they're so teeny that they probably won't show well live yet. They're only a week and a half old. You can maybe see one of the fry right there. There's one hanging out. There's another one on the glass or plastic there. And there's another one in the corner. If you want these critter keepers, I've also linked that in the description. But yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to add the bumblebees to this one, the bumblebee gobies. They've already been in this one with the pseudomagills. These are the pseudomagill luminatus, and also the swordtail, or the, not swordtails, why did I say that? And then here's the schismatogobius right there. Unsure about third variant of the annulatus of the clown killies. What are you talking about, Mick? Because Mick, when Mick raises a question, then I start to worry. He's the guy who knows things. So we're gonna get these guys floating. So we've got the beautiful little bumblebee gobies. Hopefully we'll see some in a sec. But I wanted to do that little teaching moment with the tannins at the beginning of this. Also break the news about the 50%. But really I wanted to break the news about the tannins, and then I got a call from the people at Aquatic Arts saying, hey, by the way, we're doing this huge sale because we've got to move by August, and The fish, we don't want them to die. We don't want them to, oh, let's see here. Yes, totally right, Mickey's or Mick. There are 3 collection points of annulatus in the hobby over here. Monrovia, which is in Liberia, the capital of Liberia, which is a very war-torn region. They have purple and red dorsal and anal fins, and then there's the is it Kasawi or Kasawe forest variant in Guinea, and they have yellow fins and dorsals. And then okay, and then you're unsure to the third. The third that I recall was in I want to say like Burkina Faso and one other place. Oh no, it's Cote d'Ivoire. There's a Cote d'Ivoire species on the border that lives in like a river basin that dries out. It's like a floodplain, and there's some agriculture. There's a long history of agricultural rice there, and they find it in the rice paddies there, and so they don't know if it just got into kind of the basin where people are farming there in this one specific area, or if it's indigenous, or if humans have kind of helped it. It doesn't really matter if it's been there so long, but that's the one I've heard of. There could be even more, but killifish are really fascinating that way. So then I have to figure out, okay, where am I going to put the high fins? Where can I put the clown killies? I think I want to put my clown killies in this tank here, because this tank gets so much attention and so much love. Its nitrates are always 0. But then I'll move them once I start tannining up a tank. Whereas these guys will go outside after the stream, but I'll just add them. It doesn't really matter where I put them. I'm just gonna get their water up to the temperature outside, which is about 75 today. Which is finally a nice cool day. But we've got more of them over there in here. And they're just beautiful. I mean, those high-rise, high-fin platies are really cool. The other thing that I think they sold out, but I was hoping to buy and I missed out, was more of these Miyuki blue rice fish. They are so incredible. Their Aquatic Arts has been sourcing just bananas quality rice fish. These ones are not quite big enough that they've bred for me yet, and so I'm just like waiting on pins and needles for that. Let's see here. So another Tannin, acorn caps. I collected these last year, and literally when I was getting ready for this episode, they were up here and they fell and all of them got wet. So they could mold. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But this whole thing fell into this container. Yes, they did sell out of 2 of the rice fish types during that stream. They did, yeah, the stream I did with Haley, thanks to you guys, they cleared out a whole lot of inventory. So that's why they are low on inventory, which is good. We want them to be out of inventory. They literally aren't ordering any more fish until they move, you know? So they could have done that, and they could have let fish die and made money, but they're very, you know, ethics over profit, and that's why I work with them, is because there aren't a lot of companies that way in this hobby. There's a lot that are kind of indifferent, and they try to do the best when they can, but they stick with industry standards, and that's not good enough for me anymore. You know, I've been shown the light. You can do it the right way, and that's what I expect now. So the guppies are going to be going back in here. There's no guppies in here. There's a few endlers that are Lucas Brett's Livebearer endlers in here, and they are actually, we might be able to see the actual fish now. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? Here is that platinum blue male, platinum sky blue guppy. Kind of. You can kind of see the blue on him. If he just keeps going exactly where I can't get him. If you haven't hit that like button yet, and you do like what you're seeing and what you're learning, I would appreciate it greatly. We got over 75 people in here and 40 people hitting that like button. Y'all don't like me very much. Just hop out of chat for a sec, click that like button, and then move on with your lives. That's it. That's all you got to do. Quick little update while we're walking past, since tonight's going to be all about the new news on fish during my live stream at the normal time at 7:30, which is in what, like 4 or 5 hours. We've got the Turkana jewel cichlids are starting to really turn red, especially when they eat. Hard to see during this live stream. The females are starting to get their blue jewels more, and they're doing well, but they're just the meanest fish. Meanest can be, so they have their own 20 long. And then also the pea puffers with the rainbow praycocks doing well. The praycocks lay eggs up on any of the floating stuff, so if I want those, they harvest. Right now there's nothing in here other than a pandagar. There's one pandagar and a billion shrimp in here. This is the tank that has no, wow, we're getting foggy in here with the humidity. This is the tank that has no filtration going on it whatsoever. It's got an airline in theory in it, but it's not on, it's not running. And then up here, none of these tanks have filtration running either in them. This one has a sponge to keep ready in case I want to turn it back on. Same with this one here, just to stay colonized and wet. Same with these, actually. But yeah, everybody's doing well. This is a guppy tank where I've brought the pH down slowly, but I've kept the TDS high. These were outdoor guppies and endlers. And this is a line that's been outdoors in a friend's pond for 3 or 4 years. Actually, Jackson Tax had them outside and brought them back to me. But a few friends have them in ponds that I gave to over the years. And these ones, a little less so. And I've crossed these back with Lucas Brett's Endler, rainbow Endlers. There we go. By the way, I just wanted to sneak up on these guys while they're coming out. They're really shy for some reason, these swordtails, but they're very pretty. Or platies, rather. They're very pretty. And it's weird. I have angels, apistos, beautiful cobalt, and rainbow or ornatus gobies, and then we've got those. So what are you doing, Alex? I don't know. You crazy, man. And then we've got the cribs and the Haplochromis species that still doesn't have a name. I mean, it won't for a while. Lawrence collected this in Africa. And then we've got this tank, which I need to restock or redo. I mean, it's just full of kabamba, moss, and stuff like that. It's kind of got like a Pantanal feel to it as far as the plants in it. But it's full of African barbs that I ordered from Aquatic Arts because I love these barbs. As they color up, the males turn red and they get all copper. We've got one adult left from the angels. Also, we've got a bunch of the cories. I almost bought the horseman cories. I'm still thinking about it. And then we got a bunch of the half-beaks, the platinum half-beaks from Aquatic Arts. They live up above here. And then we've also got, this is a great setup if you're into sand below. I've got a few pleco species, 3 cory, or why do I always stall on their name? But the Epistidora, is that right? No. Why can't I think of their name? Okay, brain freeze. But in any case, the floating hornwort allows me to have a completely different tank, basically. They don't even go up and down and visit each other. So that's good. Also, this mystery snail is the little one in the tank. There's one that's like freaking bigger than this little hut. And over here, I'm trying out some half-beaks with shrimp. I've never done it. They have eaten a few of the babies, but the babies at the bottom seem to be okay. But I'm trying it out because I haven't had any half-beaks have babies yet. And I've had half-beaks for a year off and on. There's that Schismatogobius that hunts. Man, they're fun. Watch that video on me showing them hunt, because they were a lot of fun to watch hunt for a nano fish. You can really have fun. If you can't have... Who cares if you can't have a piranha or a cichlid or whatever? you can hunt and have fun with those. So I'm going to wrap it up here because I've got to stream in another 4 hours. So I need to keep putting together some sources and so on and so forth. But just know that, wow, hey guys. Okay, so that was the Aquatic Arts Tannin unboxing, show and tell. And then this book by Ivan Mikolji, who I talked to for 3 or 4 hours yesterday on Zoom 2 days ago. Love the guy, super interesting. And we're going to go over this book. And I've got a download of the first 50 pages for free in high resolution for you guys. Even if you don't want to buy it, just to check it out. Which he was nice enough to. I was like, can I give the channel something? Because it's a pricey book. But we'll talk about that another time. I'll do a review of the book because it's a different... The only person who's done anything remotely similar is Heiko Blair in his Discus book that's over $1,000 on the secondary market right now. So I can't really access that one. I'd love to have it, but not really, can't really do much about it. So I'm going to leave you all here. You guys can check myself before I wreck myself in that I'm going to have one Dr. Pepper right now, a cherry one. Sit down, finish my putting together the sources of the articles we're going to talk about tonight. About what is going on in the world of science and peer-reviewed journal articles. And yeah, we'll get back on that soon. And then the review of this book should be coming probably Sunday or Monday, I would guess. So I will talk to you guys in a few hours again. It's a double feature today, but this happened to just arrive. And so thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you in a few hours if you're not doing anything. And we'll talk about what's new in the world and what, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, I will alleviate all of them, especially your concerns. Any worldly concerns, I'll fix them. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you a little bit later. Oh, we've got one question. I can't help myself. Okay, so Starhawk says, hey, Randy, I have a couple Neorites and a million rams prepping to put together a Wallstad method planted tank. Would like to add shrimp and snails. Is a mystery a good option for a Wallstad? I would not get a mystery snail. They eat your plants if you don't feed them enough, which is easy to do. And then they also can get the size of like a nectarine or a plum easily. And you can control how they have babies in the if you don't let them out above the water, out of the tank onto a rim or onto a ledge, then they can't lay their eggs. Their eggs need to be in the dry air. But they poop a lot. They produce a lot of ammonia. So unless you love mystery snails and that you're ready to trade like say 10 tetras for that bio load, I wouldn't do it. But if to you that's worth it and you really want one, then do it. I mean, that's your call. But they do take up a significant bio load. So yeah, check with Aquatic Arts later tonight, guys. They're gonna have 50% off sale. Like I said, I'm not getting any kickbacks from this one or anything. If you do get dry goods though, you can use the codes for the 15 or 10% off with the link down below and the codes. So you can try that, and then you can do 2 separate orders if you want to order some tannins or some of their, they've got like shrimp buffers for water and things like that, conditioners and all that now. So they're starting to carry a lot more dry goods and interesting food products, and obviously all the tannin stuff, which I was super excited about. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and I'll probably be going into like the lotus, some of the properties of these specific species of lotus, the bananas, stuff like that later. But you heard it here first. I just wanted to share some of it with you guys. All right, guys, I will talk to you later, and have a great day. I'll see you tonight. Bye.